All right, I'm very excited to do this special oily crystal class. I'm going to give you some foundational information, but I should call this the Amethyst edition, because if you are a Young Living member, and at any point, I think this is the second time that Young Living has given us a roller bottle with amethyst in it, this is for you. This is for you because I've gotten so many questions about what to put in here. And I'm going to take you down a journey that is really going to be very eye-opening. All right, so just a disclaimer, nothing that I talk about is intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. In particular, when I talk about blending oils and crystals, I'm coming at this from the energetics, okay? I'm coming at it from frequency and not from physical aspects, okay? So I just wanted to make that clear up front. And this is going to be very eye-opening for you all. Very eye-opening. I'm very excited. All right, so who am I? I am Allie Phillips, and I have been an attorney for 27 years. And I have spent my entire legal career in the field of criminal prosecution, either in the courtroom or teaching prosecutors, law enforcement, and those who work with them. My specialty is investigating and prosecuting animal abuse. Now you know why I play with oils and crystals all day. I am also an expert in investigating and prosecuting family violence, such as child abuse and domestic violence. And so my expertise is how animal abuse links to family violence. And I literally train all over the world to criminal justice audiences. And still to this day, I do that. And I published a lot of legal publications in my day, well over 50 publications, including some books. I happen to have one right here that's on Amazon. It's a fun topic, how shelter pets are brokered for experimentation. It's not a good thing. Welcome to my world. And as a result of all of that, I created a nonprofit called Sheltering Animals and Families Together that I run, and I help domestic violence shelters create on-site pet housing. All right. And on top of all of that, like that isn't enough, I am the owner of Manifested Harmony, which is celebrating its 11th anniversary this month. And this is where I blend 7 different health, wellness, and healing certifications together to help people and pets live in energetic harmony in our world. Okay, so I am a Young Living brand partner. I'm an advanced crystal master teacher. I spent 18 months mentoring and learning from a science teacher and received 2 crystal certifications in that process a decade ago, and then have gone on for additional learning and education and teaching. Whew, that's a mouthful. I am also the author of The Oily Pet and The Oily Crystal. So because of all my legal specialty with animals, my oil specialty with animals, my specialty with crystals, I put it all in a book for Team Young Living. You can literally teach a class from those books. And that's what a lot of people are doing, which I love, 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 love. All right, so let's get into a little foundation here before we dive specifically into the amethyst roller bottle. So I have been teaching about blending essential oils and crystals for a decade. To me, this is not a new thing, but it about 2 years ago became super duper popular, and I love that. However, I am finding that pretty much all essential oil educators are not trained in crystals. They don't have to be. However, they are sharing incomplete information that is actually a safety concern. So I am going to give you some of that information, and you can get more information in the oily crystal book. So I don't want to deep dive into that. I want to deep dive into the blends that we're going to create. But why would you want to pair crystals and essential oils together? I get that question a lot. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you? You know, why are you using essential oils? Typically the answer is, I want to feel better. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I want to feel better. Okay, well, that's what crystals do. Imagine if you put them together. 1 + 1 = 2. And that's actually a physics principle of how crystals work with us. But when we are blending the vibrational frequencies of essential oils and crystals together, it enhances the benefits of both. Because our essential oils have a frequency to them. Gary Young knew this. He blended our blends for a frequency, not for a scent. He blended them for a result. It's why some of our blends just frankly smell heinous. Don't even bring ImmuPower near me. I call that the sweaty camel underarm oil. It smells heinous, but it's amazing in what it does. Okay, so Gary knew this. He knew this with our oils. And this is what really separates Young Living from other brands, okay? And crystals, like essential oils, have a frequency to them. Everything on the planet has what's called a base resonant frequency, a frequency that makes it what it is. We have a frequency. You know, my cat Rudy, who's over here, I don't know if you've been hearing that, he's rolling around on, you know, those big pieces of paper. I've been doing a lot of outlining and planning. He's rolling around in them, making crunchy noises. But Rudy has a frequency. This air right here has a frequency. Everything in existence has a frequency to it. And, you know, we know that our essential oils provide benefits to us, and so do crystals. So this is really another wellness tool in your kit. So in the Oily Crystal book, I actually go into 3 physics principles. If you have ever taken or want to take one of my crystal classes, I'm going to have the dates at the end. I go very deep into the science of crystals to really help you understand why you feel the way you do around them, because there is a scientific explanation. But in the book, I briefly go into these 3 physics principles that explain how crystals synchronize with our energy, with our vibration. Let me give you an example of just one. Principle of resonance is a physics principle, and it talks about when there is a larger vibration, like a larger energy, and there is a lower energy. Large does not mean better. Lower and smaller doesn't mean negative. Okay, somebody can have a really strong negative energy and a really gentle positive energy. Okay, so it's just weak and strong. And in the principle of resonance, the lower vibration will synchronize up to the higher. And this happens with tuning forks. If you've ever worked with tuning forks, they're tuned to specific notes. And if you have 2 that are note C, you can take one, you can smack it, and it starts singing. La, it's singing. The other one you don't do anything with, and it starts singing too. That's the principle of resonance. The strong energy literally rose up, the smaller one. Okay, so a good example with people is that when you come across somebody who is either really excited or really a downer, if you're just feeling okay, like, you know, you're good, you're content, that's going to be the weaker energy around a strong negative or strong positive personality, and they will literally lift you to where you are, which is why if you're around negative people all the time, you end up feeling negative. Okay, these are physics principles. Well, this is how crystals work with us. So crystals, I'm going to give you a little snippet here. Crystals have what's called a fixed repeating crystalline structure, okay, which is different than stones and rocks. Stones and rocks out in your yard don't have that. And it's different than minerals. Crystals are solely made of minerals. That's all they are, minerals. And like I said, everything has this base resonant frequency to them. And for a crystal, it is fixed. We are not. We fluctuate all day long. Okay, we wake up, maybe we feel good, and then we go out into traffic and we don't feel good. And then we go to the office and we're the only ones there and we feel great. And then the negative person in the cubicle next to you comes in and you don't feel good. We go up and down all day long because, oh Lord, here's Rudy. And it's because humans and animals, we suffer from entropy. Okay, so we're constantly growing and dying, growing and dying. Our cells are growing and dying. You know, it's why we, slough off dead cells. Our organs, remake themselves every several years. So crystals suffer from the lowest state, virtually non-existent state of entropy. They don't destruct. And it's why they are millions and billions of years old. This is a black Tibetan quartz. It's a couple billion years old. Okay, no entropy. We have entropy. So in the grand scheme of the world, who do you think's the strong energy and who do you think's the weaker energy? We're the weaker. The crystals are the strong. And guess what raises us up? So that's just a little of what I talk about in my full day crystal classes that really blows the minds of everybody. So crystals really don't change at an atomic level. They don't change, we change, and they change us. So when we come into contact with a crystal, like a crystal in a roller bottle, our energy begins to resonate with the crystal, because the crystal is of a higher energy, a higher frequency, a higher amplitude, okay? So one question that I get is, what are the frequencies of crystals? Well, we don't know. It hasn't been tested, and it really can't be tested because every crystal is unique and different. So every clear quartz on the planet, every piece of clear quartz on the planet, every piece of amethyst on the planet is different. So we can't get a standardized frequency of crystals. All you can do is work with them and see how you feel. Does it make you feel calm? Does it make you feel energized? Okay, so we know that crystals have a frequency to them because the photo on the screen actually shows the frequency. It shows the vibration coming off of crystals. So, because I am scientifically trained in crystals, I love it when people start second guessing crystals and they think it's a bunch of woo-woo nonsense and, pretty little stones. And it's like, hey, can I whip out some physics principles for you and really talk to you about frequency and show you some photographs? So crystals are amazing, absolutely are amazing. All right, so now when we're dealing with essential oils, what we know about this principle of resonance is, essential oils don't have a solid structure like a crystal. They're a plant. They come from a plant or a tree. And we know that plants and trees, they grow. Like right now, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring. Everything's growing. I'm in Michigan. Everything's growing. Come November, everything's going to die. And then it's going to come back next April. And then it's going to die. Okay, so essential oils coming from that sort of structure is not solid. So essential oils can even suffer from entropy, okay? So when we're dealing with this principle of resonance, when something has a higher frequency to it, higher frequency than the problem we're trying to solve, it can neutralize it. So this is why when we go for higher frequency oils, we're working on emotions, and when we work with lower frequency oils, we're working with physical energy. Now, I am going to tell you something, and I don't know how well you're going to take this. Okay, those essential oil frequency charts that go around on social media? They're not accurate. They're not accurate. Here's why. And I had a very long conversation. If you know who Dr. Oliver Wenker is, he is a Crown Diamond in Young Living. He was Gary Young's personal physician. So Doc Ollie and I had a fascinating phone conversation about crystals and frequency. All right. So Doc, I hope I'm not like telling like, you know, secrets about Doc Ollie. He understands crystals. He does. Anyway, we had a conversation, and the frequencies that you see, that was Gary using an instrument that really wasn't intended to be used to test the frequency of oils, but he did it. He found a way to do it. And it was a one-time snapshot. Frequencies change all the time. So if somebody were to take the frequencies now, that 320 megahertz rose frequency, dramatically different because the Earth's frequency has dramatically changed in the 20 some years that Gary did that. All right. But here's what I like to say. It gives us an idea of the higher frequency oils and the ones that are lower. And low does not mean bad. Low does not mean it's going to lower your energy. That's not what that means at all, because at the end of the day, these oils are always higher than we are, which is why they make us feel better, right? We physically feel better. We emotionally feel better. You know, my team right now is doing the Great Day Protocol. All you got to do is get those 4 oils on you. You're going to feel happy. So that's what the oils do. All right. Okay. Now that you know a little bit about frequency of crystals and oils, blending them together is just going to wrap up that frequency. So how do you select? Here's the thing, and I go into great detail in my book about this. And this is where essential oil educators, unfortunately, don't know what they don't know. You have to look at the hardness of the crystal and the toxicity. All right. So every crystal and gem on the planet that we know of is scored on a scale of 1 to 10 for its hardness. In order to put a crystal in liquid, whether it's essential oils, carrier oils, or water, it needs to be most hardness 6 or higher, because the way crystals grow, all sorts of minerals can get in on the inside of it. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. That is a black Tibetan quartz. Look at all the stuff that's on the inside of it. What if a little bit of lead got in there, or asbestos, or aluminum? Chances are, if you're using essential oils, you're moving away from aluminum-based products, like aluminum-based deodorant, right? Why would you want to smear it all over yourself by putting a crystal in a roller bottle that has aluminum? A lot of makeup I'm finding on the market has aluminum in it, because they're crushing up crystals thinking it's beneficial. I literally an hour ago just emailed a makeup company and asked them if they have found a way to remove the aluminum from the ruby and the tourmaline that they are putting in their face powder. I'm eager to know their response, because they probably don't know what they don't know. So you need to make sure it's hard, so that if there is a mineral on the inside, it's not going to break down the crystal and get into the liquid. But then you also need to check for toxicity and just stay away from any toxic crystals. In the Oily Crystal book, I give you a list of the toxic minerals. So unfortunately, most crystals on the market, a vast majority, have toxic minerals in them. They have heavy minerals like arsenic, asbestos, aluminum, lead. Just because something comes from the earth does not mean it's necessarily healthy. Now, these crystals are fine to work with alone, but if you want to put it in a liquid and roll it on your body, you need to make sure the crystal is hard enough and there is no toxicity to it, okay? And then you want to be very intentional in what you're creating. So, you know, we've got this beautiful amethyst roller bottle. What do you put with amethyst? What does amethyst do? Is it grounding? Does it give you energy? What does it do? So, you know, in the Oily Crystal book, I actually give you, some blends that I love, even blends for pets, you know, because they love the Oily Crystal blends. Now, when it comes to buying your crystal roller bottles, because once you make one, you're going to want to make a whole bunch of them. And these are fun DIYs. I just had a DIY at my house Friday night. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. And they're just beautiful. So here's the thing. Just because a company sells a product doesn't mean it's safe. And I think we all know that in the essential oil world, right? Okay, so here we go. I don't name names. It's not my style. But there is a popular company, a very, very popular roller bottle company, selling bottles that have crystals that contain asbestos, aluminum, and lead. And it's because they don't know what they don't know. Now, I have offered them my book. They haven't accepted it. I have tried talking to them. They don't want to talk. That's fine. However, I'm growing more concerned because essential oil influencers on social media are promoting these toxic roller bottles. Okay, so the company that is absolutely 100% safe for your crystal roller bottle needs is Silver Orange Boutique. Rebecca Hazy, who owns that company, contacted me and completely reworked her inventory to be safe. That is the only company that I have found that is selling safe, non-toxic crystal essential oil roller bottles. And she's so generous. If you wait until the end, there is a coupon code that you can put in to get a free crystal roller bottle from them. All right, so I see a question. How do we know if the crystal has toxicity or not? Yeah, you just have to look it up in a crystal book. But I also list them in the Oily Crystal book, some of the more popular ones, so you can get it from that. So, so I'm really glad that Young Living is seeing the benefits of crystals, but please, remember that, to my knowledge, I don't know if anybody at corporate is trained in crystals. So I'm glad so far that they are choosing safe crystals. I hope it never comes to where they accidentally choose a crystal that isn't safe, but so far so good. I am really pleased with what they have done. So, but before we go there, when I was talking about, companies that are selling unsafe roller bottles, they're well-intentioned, but they're giving faulty advice. And so the chart that you see on the screen, I picked it up at a conference, an essential oil conference in Chicago several years ago. And when you see the N next to a crystal, N means no. No, do not put it in an essential oil. As you can see, about 2/3 of their inventory is not safe. It's either too soft or it's toxic. And a lot of these crystals I love. I love labradorite, love it. It has aluminum in it. Okay, can't put it in with an essential oil. So this is the sort of stuff that I'm seeing, which is why I wrote the Oily Crystal book. And it's why I give classes like this, because I want everybody to be safe, because this is a tremendous wellness tool to add to your toolbox if you know how to do it correctly. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, and if you don't have the free Amethyst bottle that Young Living gave us, go to Silver Orange Boutique. You can buy one. They have an entire collection. It's, I think, 13 roller bottles. Oh my gosh, they are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, such high quality. But if you have this, I'm talking about Amethyst in particular, all right? And this will kind of give you a little insight into how I teach my crystal classes, which if you've ever taken a crystal class, you're probably not taken one like how I teach it. I get really sciencey geeky, but in a way that you can understand it, that helps you understand the spiritual and the emotional aspects of both crystals and essential oils. This is how I teach all my classes. And I see a lot of my team are on here and they're like, oh yeah, Allie teaches like this. This is what Allie does. All right, so this is, I want to go through and I want to talk about kind of the main aspects of what amethyst does. Like, why would you even want an amethyst crystal? So I don't know if you can see. You see that big purple thing there? That is a big amethyst geode that I have here in my office. So it's always working on me. It's always working on him. Oh, heck, who am I kidding? I got about 100 pounds of crystals in my office. So we are highly influenced. But amethyst has some very specific traits. And I want to explain to you why these traits are. Because when I started taking crystal classes, I had a lot of questions. I'm like, well, who says? Like, who came up with this stuff? And I look into the crystals very differently, which then gives me all the answers that I need. All right, are you ready? All right. Amethyst is known as the master physical healer. And of course, my lawyer brain says who? Who came up with that? And why just the master physical healer? That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so here's the thing. Amethyst contains two minerals, silica and iron. That's it. Silica and iron. It's the iron that gives it the purple color. When the earth heats the iron, it turns purple. Amethyst, by definition, means purple quartz. Okay, so if it was any other color, it would not be amethyst. Amethyst means purple in the crystal world. All right, so let's talk about silica. Silica, we need it in our body. We have about 7 grams of silica in our body. The more we have in our body, the healthier we are. Silica is anti-inflammatory. Okay, so we want silica. You can buy silica pills on the market. You know, I haven't even looked to see if Young Living has silica in Master Formula or Mineral Essence. I bet they do. I bet they do, because it's an essential mineral. We have to have it in our body to survive. Okay, and what it does is it strengthens and it improves bones, connective tissue, our hair, our skin, but it alkalizes and it helps with inflammation in the body. So silica is a great thing. Now, in the frequency world, silica in a crystal is very high vibrational. Very high vibrational. It just raises you up. Well, think about what silica does in the body. The more silica you have, the better you feel. It raises you up, right? Okay, so silica is a high vibrational crystal. It's a higher consciousness crystal. It takes you into a higher form of thinking and raises your spiritual awareness. And here's the thing, you can't have a higher consciousness, a higher way of thinking, or raise into spiritual awareness if you feel like crap. You can't. If you're sick, you can't do that. All right? So you see how that works? Oh my gosh, I love this stuff so much. Rudy, I love talking about this stuff. Do you care? Rudy cares. All right, now the second mineral that amethyst has is iron. And I'm going to get back to the frankincense. Hold on, because we're still talking about master physical healer. Iron, what does iron do? What does iron do in the body? It cleanses our organs. It cleanses our blood. It strengthens and fortifies our blood. It boosts and balances our hormones. Ding, 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 ding. That's a big thing. It is beneficial for the endocrine system. So your thyroid, your adrenals, your pituitary, your hypothalamus, your pineal gland, okay? Your thymus, balances all of those, which if you're in endocrine distress, you feel horrible, okay? So it also, iron helps with metabolism, okay? Now I kind of know why amethyst is called the master physical healer, right? Are you getting the point? All right, now energetically, iron in the body is like a coat of armor. Think of the knight in shining armor. He's got his coat of armor around him. It's protective, right? Amethyst is known as a protective crystal. And amethyst is known as a crystal that can transmute negative energy. We never want to block it, because if you block it, it'll boomerang and it'll eventually come back. Iron transmutes it and it changes it into something positive. Okay, and so, you know, when you're around a negative person, amethyst is very protective. It protects your energy. It puts an energetic frequency coat of armor around you. Okay, now how many of you are all like, I need like a carload of amethyst. I want to wear it all up and down my wrist. I want to cover myself in it. I have a concept for an amethyst encrusted, you know, like undergarments. Seriously, I need to do that. So anyway, this is what iron does. So we've got silica, we've got iron. Iron is very grounding. It's heavy, right? Silica raises us up. So we can feel both grounded and calm and raise our vibration at the same time, which I won't go into it now because I don't have time, but that's the energy that we're in right now that we need to do. Just ground yourself so you don't feel so anxious and flighty, and then raise your vibration so you feel awesome. That's what amethyst does. Okay, so let's talk about oils, and I'm going to go through more of these other traits of amethyst. But when it comes to feeling awesome, frankincense, right? Frankincense is amazing. So actually, before I get there, I want to say a couple other things. Hold that thought. In your, where is it? In your roller bottle, if you have the one from Young Living, to be honest, it is too full of crystals. It doesn't need to be halfway full. You're not going to get very much essential oil in there. Take out 75% of those crystals. Okay, make a bunch of roller bottles. You can probably make 4 roller bottles out of how much is in this. Just take them out and put them in other roller bottles. Okay, crystals have a very large energy range. You don't need that much in here. All right, you need maybe 5 to 8 pieces. Okay, so that's the first thing. Spread the love. You don't need that much in there. Okay, and when I go through these traits, I'm going to give you some specific oils, but there are 7 essential oils that work on all of the energy centers in the body. Some people call them chakras, but they are legit energy centers in the body. There are 7 that I have identified, and I'm working on identifying more. I talk about them in the Oily Crystal book, and I talk about them in, I'm going to tell you shortly of something that I'm creating. But Divana, lavender, and harmony balance every energy center. So you could just work with those oils. I call that the master blend. So, and then there are about, in the single oil category, not the blends, just the singles, I've identified about 25 essential oils that can pair well with amethyst, because amethyst works on the energy center right here in the forehead, which is called the third eye. This is where our intuition comes from. It's where our inner knowing comes from, where you just know things. Has that ever happened to you? Where you just, you know something. You don't know how you know it. You just know. So, you know, this third eye chakra is all about intuition. A mother's intuition. For those of you who are moms, you're like, oh yeah, I got that covered. I know what my child is doing every moment of the day. But this third eye, it also helps with focus and concentration. It's how you can calm your mind and visualize and meditate and pray. If it's really balanced, you can sleep, you can have, you know, really intuitive dreams. So, so I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more too. So, okay, so now let's dive into the oil. So I see a question, where are we going to get the recording? I'm going to email it to you. Okay, so I will email it to you in case if you need to hop off, because I know that there is another class starting with Jim Bob. If you wanted to hop on that, and I'm sure there's other classes going on. All right, so master healer, frankincense or sacred frankincense. Okay, I'm going into the energetics. I'm not making any medical claims that Young Living does not allow. I'm talking about frequency of these oils. Okay. All right, so frankincense is the life force energy oil. Its job is to move chi, energy in the body. It relaxes the body. And in a lot of my classes, I talk about that when the body is relaxed, it can repair itself. But when was the last time you were truly relaxed? Because we go, 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 go all day. Even right now, you're focused. Maybe you're taking notes. You're not relaxed. You're not relaxed. Frankincense relaxes the body. It's why it's the #1 sleep oil. If you put it on your forehead at night, you're gone. You're gone. It's amazing. Okay. So, but frankincense, I call it the life force energy oil because it gives life. All right. It's perfect for a master healer, amethyst. So frankincense is an oil that you can use. All right, let's talk about the high vibration and the higher consciousness that amethyst has. What oils can help with that? So all of these different aspects of amethyst that I talk about and the related oils, you pick one of these that you want to do. And it may do multiple things, but maybe you say, hey, I want to raise my vibration. That's the thing I want to do. Okay, you got 3 oils that you can work with. There's actually more than that, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So frankincense, again, raises your energy and it gets you into your higher mind and your intuition. Because if you're dealing with problems and challenges, you can't solve it with the same energy that created it. You got to raise yourself up. Kind of like you're in an airplane looking down and you're like, oh, that's the problem. Now I know what to do. That's what Frank does. All right. Zhang Mao. Who has Zhang Mao? It is one of my favorite oils. Oh my gosh, I became obsessed with it at the Mona farm. And I have never been without it. So it is an aromatic sweet grass, and it is known for rapid enlightenment. Sign me up. Rapid enlightenment. It is calming, it's relaxing, it's very spiritual, and it gives you that enlightened thinking to solve problems. Gives you a really deep spiritual connection and brings deep insights. Like you're going to get a lot of clarity. And it activates that intuitive center by clearing out emotions that are in the way and just kind of lifts the weight of the world. If you've ever thought, oh my gosh, I have so much on my mind, like I feel heavy, go to Zhang Mao. It's amazing. And then the Rise Above blend. I think we use that right now. So this blend can really help you create an environment where you can transform negative thoughts into positive and motivating thoughts. And it just opens you up to new ideas. It's raising you up to open you up to new ideas. And you can use it to transform old thoughts that are holding you back so that you can literally rise above to achieve what you're here to achieve on this earth, right? I have a feeling all your shopping carts with Young Living are going to be full of oils by the time I'm done talking. So that excites me. That excites me. Okay, so those are the 3 oils. Now here's the thing. I 99.999% of the time do not tamper with a blend. I don't put anything else in it because it was blended for a frequency, for a high vibration, high consciousness frequency. If I put another oil in, I change it. Now you can do that. I know a lot of people who do that. I'm trained differently. I stay with the frequency that it is, okay? So I'm just saying that, you know, keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about another aspect of amethyst. It's intuitive. It helps you really sharpen your intuitive skills. And cistus is an amazing, amazing, amazing oil. I have it here. I just love it. This is actually an oil used for prayer and meditation. Oh, that is just divine. That is divine. Who has cistus? This oil has the energy to calm your feelings, calm your thoughts. It deepens the breath and it opens your inner vision. So you can literally, if you want to put your cistus in your amethyst roller bottle, roll it on your forehead. Okay, so roll it on your forehead. All right, hold on. I'm muting the line there. Thank you. Now awaken. That smells good. The awaken oil. This again opens your intuitive center. It helps you when you're overwhelmed, because when you're overwhelmed, you have way too many thoughts bouncing in your brain. Okay, awaken calms that down, and it really opens you to your potential. And it helps you really take steps forward. Okay, good question. These are all in a carrier oil. Okay, so I tend to put, well, this is a little bigger roller bottle. I think this is like a 15 ml. So I would put 15 drops. I tend to put 1 drop of essential oil per 1 ml of carrier oil. Okay, that's a really great question, Stephanie. Thank you. So again, use Young Living's V6 oil or get an organic cold pressed carrier oil, because carrier oils are as adulterated as essential oils. Okay, so organic is important. All right. I see a question. The name of the book is called The Oily Crystal, and I'm gonna have a slide on that because we're coming near the end. Okay, so next aspect of amethyst is helping with focus and concentration. Okay, who needs that? Focus and concentration. All right, clary sage helps you focus and center your thoughts and stops the mind chatter. Okay, have you ever had that in your brain and you're like, oh, I can't focus or I can't go to sleep? Clary sage. And it really helps you decompress at the end of the day, but it helps you decompress when you're working on something big. If you're writing or creating or really need to focus, you need to calm your brain down so that it can focus. Clary sage does that. Orange helps you focus and really dim that chatter. It really helps with analysis paralysis, because that's just an overwhelmed mind. Analysis paralysis, when you're just bouncing all back and forth and you can't make a decision. And then clarity, the name says it all. When you need clarity, when you need alertness, when you need to make big decisions, when you're looking for answers to life's big issues, you know, it's got oils in this blend that clear and move the overwhelm that blocks your clarity. Okay, kind of brings you a fertile mind. All right, so that helps with focus and concentration. Oh my gosh, Sean, you're making me laugh. Clary sage helps me with my power surges. I love how you just described that. That is phenomenal. I love that. All right, visualizing. Amethyst is really good for visualizing. I will lay down on the couch, put a big slab of amethyst on my forehead when I meditate and when I do visualization. So envision. This is the number one. The name says it all. Okay, the Envision blend helps you to visualize the path ahead of you, because if you can't visualize it, you can't go there. So it helps you visualize it. It helps you, when you need a spark of creativity, or when you're stuck in anything and you're like, I need to get unstuck and start moving forward. It's when you have a big, audacious goal and you need a clear vision of where you see it coming true. Amethyst and Envision, it's going to rock your world. No pun intended. All right. Amethyst is also protective from negative energies, because remember the iron, the coat of armor, protective from negative energies such as anxiety, fear, and stress. So Northern Lights Black Spruce is grounding, but it is very spiritual. It raises your energy because it's grown underneath the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights. But those trees are very grounded. So it does exactly what amethyst does. It grounds you and it raises you up. So it's a really good spiritual renewal, a spiritual connection oil, gives you clarity, gives you protection. So black spruce is amazing. Valor is our coat of armor. So amethyst and valor, can't get any better than that. And then white angelica. So white angelica, I call it the warm blanket oil, because you feel like mom just wrapped a warm blanket around you. It's like an angelic blanket where you are fully protected, and it's like everything is okay. You're okay. These negative feelings that you're having right now, this anxiety, this stress, this fear, everything's okay. You're okay. You're okay. So when you feel overwhelmed and you need that angelic blanket of protection, this is security wrapped around you. Okay. So again, I personally, this is just me, it's not a hard and fast rule. I leave the blends alone. I'll put them in with the crystals. Now, yes, the crystals could be changing the frequency, but it's going to add to it and enhance it. Whereas if you were to put lavender in with white angelica, it's going to smell amazing, but what is that going to do to the blend? Honestly, I don't know, but it will change it. Okay. So that's just me. You can absolutely do what you want. Let's talk about amethyst for clearing your energy field. So we have an energy field out here. Okay. It's actually been documented by science. They can actually photograph it. So it's not a bunch of woo-woo. I mean, it's literally an energy field. It's a bubble around us. It's why if you have ever felt somebody get into your personal space and you're like, you're a little too close, they're in your energy field. So what clears your energy field? Amethyst and Palo Santo. Palo Santo is a very spiritual oil. I mean, it purifies. You know, the Native Americans and ancient cultures use Palo Santo to purify negative energies. And it helps us release anger and resentment. It calms our mind. It helps us really bust through fear and just keep going. And it helps us listen to this inner wise voice that we have that is often silenced because the ego is in control, or our cell phone and our social media is in control. And so we need to quiet our mind and let go and listen. That's what Palo Santo does. And then white angelica, again, it's very protective. It's clearing your energy field. It's part of the Great Day protocol, and it's why Gary says you put it in your hands and you run it over your energy field. Like, it actually doesn't go on the body. You wipe your energy field with it because it's clearing it. And Gary knew that. And then last but not least, amethyst calms the mind so that you can meditate, so that you can pray, so that you can reflect. So frankincense, that's what that does. That's what frankincense does. It calms the mind and it deepens the breath, because when you can breathe very deeply, you're calm. But spikenard, who has spikenard? Oh, I love spikenard. All right. This is a very spiritual and very religious oil that relaxes and grounds the energy of your body, calms you down so that you can meditate, calms your mind down so that you can sleep, so that you can pray, so that you can reflect, have a spiritual connection. It calms energy when you're in a situation where you've become a control management specialist. You're a control freak. You're trying to control an outcome. I know all about this. And it says, you know what? Go with the flow. You do not need to control this outcome. So this moves you into an energy of flow rather than force. Flow always wins. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to teach you another trick, because I've given you a lot of options. You know, like, I don't know what to blend. You want to blend based on what you want the oils to do with the amethyst. So I've given you some ideas, but let's take, for example, I'm going to take cistus and black spruce, and I'm going to teach you a trick that I do, because it's going to save you a lot of oils. And I do this at all my DIYs. So I have cistus and I have Northern Lights black spruce. Put them together, wave it under your nose. Ooh, that's nice. It's sweet and woodsy. Okay, so you can take as many of these and just do that and roll them back and forth together. And that will give you an idea of what you want to blend with. Now, remember, I said Divana works with everything. Let's try Divana and Northern Lights black spruce. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. Divana is an adaptogen. It literally adapts to your energy and then takes you to a whole nother level. So it meets you where you're at. Oh, y'all got to get Divana if you don't have it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Divana is in so many of our blends because it is that powerful. The blend will meet you where you're at and then take you on a journey. That's what Divana does. All right, let's do orange. And you notice I'm going to black spruce a lot. Orange and black spruce. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. Oh my gosh. Woo, it just sharpened my concentration. Orange and cistus. Oh, that smells nice too. Okay, so you kind of got the drift of what I do there. And then you don't have to worry about dripping oils on yourself to smell them. Just smell them direct from the bottle. And then, so if you have a 10 ml bottle, remember my philosophy is 1 drop of essential oil for 1 ml of carrier oil. So if you have a 10 ml bottle, you can put 10 drops of essential oil. This one, I think from Young Living is like a 15 ml. So you're going to put a total of 15 drops total. So if you want to do orange and black spruce, maybe you do 6 drops of black spruce and 9 drops of orange. You know, just trust your intuition. Okay, just create something. It's not going to be horrible. You can't screw it up. All right. Okay, we're done with that, and I want to let you know about a couple things that are coming up. If you have the Oily Crystal book and you love it and you're like, oh, I need to learn more, I'm creating an Oily Crystal Masterclass. It is a year. I have been working on it for a year. I'm really hoping I launch it this fall. I really hope it's done. It's got a massive workbook, massive. So how I just talked about the oils and the crystals, that's what you're getting. And additional really advanced master level concepts. So stay tuned. All right. If you want to get the Oily Crystal and the Oily Pet book, you can put in coupon code ZOOM for a 10% discount. For those of you who are leading, your essential oil team, if you buy in bulk, you can get up to a 30% discount. Okay, so I have a lot of people do that. And then I would highly encourage you to get your crystal roller bottles from Silver Orange Boutique. All right, put in the coupon code area, put my name, put Allie, and regardless of what your order, she's going to send you a free crystal roller bottle. Okay. All right. If you are very interested in crystal classes, I literally just ended the spring crystal season. It comes back in the fall because I teach my classes only 2 to 3 times a year. So I've got the dates there on the screen. The basic class and the animal class are the prerequisites to get into the advanced class. All right. The basic and the animal class are 8-hour classes. And even online, you may think, oh, that's a long time. The day flies by. I have never had one student lose their mind at all. It flies by. It's very interactive. And the advanced class is 18 hours, but I split it up into 4.5-hour sessions. I'm also doing an Oily Crystal seasonal series. The Summer Energies class is coming up June 22nd. You can find that on my website. There is a small fee for that unless you are in my oil team, you are in my membership, my Crystal Cluster membership, or my Sacred Shift membership. It's free to all 3 of those groups. Otherwise, it's just a small fee, but I teach you how to blend crystals and oils together to really flow with the seasonal energies. The code for the book is ZOOM, ZOOM, Zoom. All right, and then let's stay connected because I'm talking about oils and crystals all the time, and cats. Okay, oils, crystals, and cats. That's my thing. So follow me on my website, on my Facebook page. I have a YouTube page full of so many free classes. It is ridiculous. Rudy is actually trying to climb on the bookshelf right now. And then on Instagram, and I just got on TikTok. Not sure if it's my thing, but I'm giving it a try. It's got a very different energy to it. I love Instagram so much. Love it, love it, love it. So anyway, find me over there. All right. For international, I have not a download. I have an online version of my book. You literally read it through my website. So when you go to my website and look, you will see that as an international option. I have shipped in bulk internationally, but it's pricey. I can tell you the minimum cost to ship to Australia is $70 US because I ship there all the time. All right. But there is where you read it online. It's not a download. Okay. You just read it online. You can read it as many times as you want. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording. And I can take some questions live, and thank you to everybody who is here, and thank you to everybody who's watching the recording. And I'm literally stopping my cat Rudy from jumping on a bookshelf right now. So anyway, I'm going to stop the share. So thank you for being here.